Okay, we'll get started. We'd like to welcome Billy Horschel into the interview room here at the Genesis Scottish Open. Billy won your 7th PGA Tour title earlier this year at the Memorial. You have 3 runner-up finishes this year. Excellent form. If we can get some comments on your season and then your form coming into the week.
Yeah, it's been a really good year. I repeat myself a lot, but sometimes all the hard work and practice that we put in, we don't always get the results out of it. And it's nice that this year we're starting to see some more of the results. What my team and I have done over the last couple of years, some of the changes we've made to try and be more consistent, try and win the events, bigger events. It's been nice to finally see, and it's been a really solid year. I mean, unfortunately missed the cut at the U.S. Open by a shot, and still haven't played well in majors. Hopefully that changes next week. But overall, it's been a really solid year. Game's really been in an area where I haven't had to fiddle too much, and I can just sort of really focus on prepping each week, and that's been a big help this entire year.
And I know winning on a world stage is important to you. You won match play, first American to win the BMW PGA Championship since Arnold Palmer in 1975. So how important are these next couple weeks to you?
Massive. I think as golfers, as growing up, junior golfers, college golfers, we play this game to be remembered. We play this game to say we won on the PGA Tour. We won the same tournaments as Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer. Same thing over here on the DP World Tour. When you're a European Tour player growing up, you think about winning the BMW PGA. You think about possibly winning a National Open. That's why we play this game of golf. The money is obviously something that is there, that we know that if we play well, we get taken care of, but we don't play for money as a kid. I never thought about making X amount of dollars in my lifetime like that. That was never my goal. My goal was to be, hopefully one day, considered one of the greatest players in the game, hopefully one of the greatest players in my generation, if not the greatest players in the game, and hopefully be remembered. That's what we as junior golfers wanted to do. We wanted to be like Tiger. We wanted to be like Jack Nicklaus. We wanted to be like Fred Couples. So to think about the money aspect wasn't what I did it for.
All right, we'll open it up to questions now. If you'll raise your hand, we'll start with Martin.
Hi Billy, you've played in some big events on this side of the Atlantic. How does this one feel? We've got 14 of the world's top 15, all 4 reigning major champions. How does this one feel compared to some of the big events you've played on this side of the pond?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to play here last year, came over and played for the first time, and obviously it was a big event then, but now with the co-sanctioned events, our co-sanctioned event with the PGA Tour, and PGA Tour players coming over here to get ready for the Open Championship. This is a big event. This is a massive event. When you look up on that wall and you see you got the 4 current reigning major champions at the same event. You got 14 of the top 15 players in the world. I mean, this is what we play for. We want to compete against the best players. We want to see where we stand with our game, and what better place than do it here and at the Renaissance Club at the Scottish Open.
Yeah. There's a big cloud hanging over the event. What are your thoughts on that at the moment in terms of the players that are potentially going to play? They look like they are going to play. What's your thoughts on that?
I believe they made their bed. They decided to go play a tour, and they should go play that tour. They shouldn't be coming back over here to play DP World Tour or the PGA Tour. To say that they wanted to also support this tour, whether DP or PGA Tour going forward, while playing the LIV Tour, is complete asinine, in my opinion. To play the PGA Tour, you got to play 15 events. And their schedule's 8 now and going to be 14. So to say they're going to play 29 events a year and still hold their membership on the PGA Tour is ridiculous. And I know it's easy over here on the DP World Tour, where you only have to play 4 events outside the majors and WC events. But in my sitting here, being able to talk to the DP World Tour players over the last couple of years, having a conversation with them in Germany at the BMW International Open, just coming to play the big events on the DP World Tour, yeah, that helps, but that's not supporting the DP World Tour. Go play something that's not a Rolex Series event. Go play something that's not in the Middle East. That's more important to the DP World Tour and the growth of the tour and giving back to the tour and helping these guys in the financial sense. of making sure that financially they're getting the rewards that they deserve over here. And they've lacked the rewards that we have on the PGA Tour. Obviously, there's a multitude of reasons for it, but these guys deserve just the similar rewards over here that we get on the PGA Tour. So it's unfortunate because those guys made their bed. That's what they want to do, and just go leave us alone. Honestly, they keep talking about the PGA Tour doesn't listen to them, and obviously I'm carrying on to your question because this is something. The last week I've been really frustrated by it because there's a lot of guys that are hypocrites, that aren't telling the truth, that are lying about some things that I can't stand to sit here anymore and be diplomatic about it as I have been in the past. I don't fault anyone for going to play the LIV Tour. I don't have any ill will for anyone going to play the LIV Tour. I have ill will towards the comments that they've made. Comments saying that Jay Monahan doesn't listen to the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour doesn't listen to us. Jay Monahan and everyone at headquarters is the PGA Tour. They work tirelessly for us to reap the financial rewards and have all the opportunities we have. At the same time, I am one of 200 plus members of the PGA Tour. I am the PGA Tour, just as 2 other 100 members of PGA Tour. So when you're taking shots at the PGA Tour, and Jay Monahan, you're just not taking shots at them, you're taking shots at us. And to say that they don't listen is a complete farce. It really is. They can't listen. If they listen to everything every 200 plus players on the PGA Tour said, our tour would be a complete mess. We wouldn't even have a tour. And so it's ridiculous to hear some of these comments some of these guys made saying, well, this allows me to play less tournaments. I've played 30, 35 weeks a year. No one's forced you to play that many events. The PGA Tour says 15 events minimum. All you have to do is play 15 events. If you keep your card in those 15 events, then that's fine. You don't have to play. If you want to play it better or you want to play more so you get a chance to win the FedEx Cup, so be it. So be it. No one's made you play that first playoff event to miss family obligations. No one has. we're independent contractors. We do sign a contract with the PGA Tour that requires us to meet certain requirements of the PGA Tour. But we have the opportunity to make our schedule. So to say that we have to play X amount of events and they don't have time off, no one makes you. I'm on the road for 5 weeks. I've not seen my family for 3 weeks. I haven't seen them for 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks wasn't at the U.S. Open. Didn't see them in Germany. I stayed over here for London for a week. I'm not seeing them this week. I'm not seeing them that week for next week. So 5 weeks. But that's what my wife and I decided. That's what, when we laid our schedule out, it just worked that way. I made that decision to not see my wife and kids for 5 weeks. Am I crying about it? No. I understand. I'm living my dream, trying to play golf professionally and support my family financially. And so I'm just tired of these comments. Like, go play your LIV Tour and forget about the PGA Tour. You didn't want to support the PGA Tour going forward. Don't tell me you're going to play LIV when they go to 14 events and then go play 15 events on the PGA Tour and play in 29. That's not a smaller schedule. You're not playing less. Sorry, carrying on.
All right, we've got time for a couple more questions.
Keep going. I got time. My practice is done today, pretty much.
Let's go to Sean in the back.
I have to follow that. Winning the WGC, was that kind of what opened up some doors for you to play more internationally? What made you want to do that?
So in college, my college coach, Bud Alexander, said to be considered a global player, to be considered a world-class player, you have to go play around the globe. And you've got to play well and you've got to win events. Well, I did play a little bit around the globe, but that was with the PGA Tour. I have always wanted to play the European Tour, as I've said for the last X amount of years, growing up, watching the European Tour early in the mornings. That is what that's a lot of the golf I watched early on. So I've always had this fascination with the European Tour, and I didn't take advantage of it early in my career, and now that I'm sort of somewhat on the back end, I only plan on playing maybe another 7-8 years. As of right now, I want to take advantage of that opportunity. I want to be able to go play the European Tour, go play these tournaments that I've watched growing up. And so with the way our schedule worked, with some of the majors changing, with BMW PGA going from May to September, that opened up the doors. And then honestly, to see the reaction and the support that I had in 2019 at the BMW PGA, it really pushed me to come over here more, because I really appreciated how they supported me there at the London event, and then going to play Germany a couple weeks ago, similar reception and everything. And so it was really nice to have that, and you know, winning the match play was just, you know, one of those added perks that allowed me to be top 50, get a little more recognition, get some more opportunities to take advantage of coming over here and playing in Europe.
And you mentioned majors, including the Open. Probably not the record you want. I'm sure you're trying to figure out how to change that. Are there anything specifically you're working on this week to try to change your record on links?
No, it's funny. I think for the last year and a half, I think our prep before majors and how we felt before we teed it up on Thursday has been really good. Unfortunately, I've become somewhat of a mental midget on Thursday and sort of fallen back into old habits, which, you know, we've talked about and worked it out. And I think U.S. Open was the first, 3 weeks ago, was the first one where I felt like I went out there and I wasn't trying to not mess up. I was trying to go out there and win a golf tournament, hit the golf shots that were required. I wasn't trying to be too perfect and not put myself in a bad position and that could cost me losing, missing the cut. I went out there trying to play well. And unfortunately, I just didn't hit it good enough, early in the week, and I made no putts on Friday. So, we're still trying to put the pieces together. I think we've sort of all got them laid out on the board, and we think we know where they need to go. And we'll try again next week, and hopefully all the pieces come together next week.
Okay, let's go over here to the left.
Billy, it's Brian McLaughlin here from BBC Scotland. Terrific to see your passion for the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. You've made some fairly strong comments there, saying that some of your colleagues have been lying about what they've been saying. What is the mood in the PGA Tour locker room then to these players who have gone to those who have stayed?
Listen, there is a division a little bit in our locker rooms, and I think some guys are more upset than others. I'm not upset with them. As I've said, I have no ill will towards them. I'm just tired of hearing comments that are not truthful. But there are some guys that, in all spectrums, some top tier guys, mid-level guys, bottom guys that are upset. They feel that they're abandoning the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour needs to be stronger on them. So yeah, there is do I know the percentage? No, just some comments that I've heard that guys are frustrated, and if that's what they want to do, just go away, stay away. Like, we don't, pretty much they said, like, we don't need you anymore. Like, if you don't want to be a part of this tour, which is giving you so many opportunities to make a name and build a financial, stability for your family and everything, then, that's fine. Just stay away, and we'll be fine without you guys.
Finally, about St Andrews, I spoke to you at the Dunhill a few years ago. I think it was your father. Was it your father's birthday?
My father last year, yeah.
Do you still get the buzz when you drive into the town? And what makes St Andrews, for you, the place that it is?
Yeah, I think for St Andrews, I'm just repeating a lot. It's the home of golf. It's special, and the course is special, but I think it's everything that encompasses that. It's the golf course, it's the town, it's how the residents, really welcome you in there. I played Dunhill with my dad last year. It was his 70th birthday present. He turned 70 on, I think, Saturday, if I remember correctly. And I was coming off a lot of golf, and so I was, relaxing, after rounds, and my dad was headed down to Dunvegan, and they welcomed him there with open arms. And I remember coming in there later in the week, and because he would meet us, I would meet them at dinner, and I went in there later in the week, and I walk in, he's got a table, he's got 6 other guys around, buying pints, telling stories. They're like, hey, we welcome your dad. He's welcome to come hang out with us whenever he wants. So that's what makes that place special. There's so many things that go into it, but just the way people embrace the town, whether it be the residents or the visitors or the tourists, it's such a special place that has so much history that it's tough not to be able to feel that energy and that excitement when you start driving in.
All right, let's go Bernie and then Greg.
Billy, can I just ask you, when you talk about rewards, and we know the winner this week, if he's not already a member of the PGA Tour, becomes a member of the PGA Tour. I'm probably taking you back to the time when you earned your PGA Tour the card for the first time. What would it mean for a for a non-PGA Tour member to win this week and knowing he's got his PGA Tour card?
It'd be to me, I think it'd be pretty special for them. It'd be awesome for the event. It'd be awesome for our DP Tour and PGA Tour coalition that we have now. I don't know what the exact word. It's no longer alliance. They've strengthened the bond, as we know. But like I said, I mean, depending on for maybe someone on the European Tour that doesn't have a PGA Tour card, you know, they probably grew up wanting to be part of the European DP World Tour, and then when they got out here, not that this tour is lacking in any way in sense of competitiveness or anything, but you've seen the move to the PGA Tour and you want to compare yourself to the best players in the world. PGA Tour is where you want to go. So they probably thought, okay, well, that's where I want to get to next, possibly. Not every European Tour player thinks that way. I've talked to them. They're happy playing on the DP World Tour. They love it over here. But some guys want to go over there and try their craft out in the PGA Tour. And so, you know, for someone who has that desire and that dream, I mean, that's a special moment for them, knowing that they have a chance to come over on the PGA Tour, be a member, and compete at the highest level with the best players in the world.
Just quickly, can you remember that special moment in your career?
It was 2009 Q School down at Bear Lakes. I think I finished 7th or 8th at Q School, and it would. I mean, I was 22 years old. I was a little bit cockier, and I knew I knew I was going to get my card that week. So I just sort of, I mean, it happened, and like I said, I'm not a big guy or a big guy in the sense that celebrates and you know, really takes that in and gets real emotional about things like that. But, you know, looking back at that now after being on the PGA Tour for 13 years, it was an unbelievable time to be able to fulfill my dream of making it to the PGA Tour.
All right, let's go Greg and then over to Wayne.
Hey, Billy. Noticed a change in the team. Johnny Longsocks on the bag instead of Fooch. Reason?
Yeah, I missed a cut, unfortunately, at U.S. Open, and I missed way too many cuts with Fooch on the bag, so I fired him. No, unfortunately, Fooch applied for his green card last fall, and like everything around the world, it's taken a little bit longer, and you know, he's not able to travel while he's on that process, and so he called up a good friend, Johnny Longsocks, and coerced him out of retirement to come work for me for a few weeks. And so it's been great to have Longsocks on the bag. But like I said, I'm talking to Fooch on a regular basis, you know, FaceTiming him. He's going stir crazy at home, you know, going crazy. And so hopefully we can make his world a little bit more crazier. We can win these next two and make him feel even more bad about not being here.
All right, we'll go Wayne and then Alex.
Hello, Billy. How badly advised were these LIV people in terms of, I mean, the LIV players, in terms of what they were being told to say? Because this line about growing the game seems to me to be absolutely ridiculous. I mean, who on earth told them to say that?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, Justin Thomas said something on a podcast, I think, last week, and I think every player out here has said the same thing. Just give us the real reason why you went. It was a financial decision. And that was it. Don't say you're growing the game of golf. Don't say you're doing it because you get to play less golf, because you can do that on the PGA Tour. You can play 4 majors and 11 other events, and that's 15 events a year. So I think, I don't know if they're getting media training. Obviously, I've heard they aren't, or they're getting talking points. I don't know. But like I said, I just wish they would be honest and just say, we made the decision purely for a financial decision, and not because this is a cool format or I'm really excited about having a shotgun start and playing only 54 holes. Yeah. I mean, that's not the main reason you're doing it. You're doing it for what you're putting in your pocket at that point in time. So for me, I just wish that some of this other stuff that they're saying that just everyone laughs at and makes fun of, I think everyone else would just have maybe a little bit, I say they would maybe give them more respect for honestly owning up and saying it's a financial decision, and that's why I made the decision.
Well, they were even being schooled in what to say at Slaley Hall, which was the event before the Centurion. You know,
yeah, I like I said, I'm not aware of that. Yeah. If that was the case, like I said, all I'm going to say is that maybe they were giving some talking points, maybe not. Maybe someone said a few things and that sounded good, and another guy said, I'm going to copy what he said because that sounded great. But like I said, I don't know if they were getting media training or what to say or anything like that. But when you're under contract and you work for somebody now, you're an employee of an employer. Now you're saying certain things that the employer wants you to say. It's different on the PGA Tour, DP world. I don't have to worry about what I say. PGA Tour can't fire me.
All right, let's go to Alex.
They can fine you, Billy.
Can they fine me? Yeah, I've been fined once or twice in my career. I can pay a fine.
Could you explain when Jay Monahan and Keith Pelley got together and said that they were expanding the strategic alliance? We're trying to understand, how does that benefit the PGA Tour players?
That's a great question. I mean, I'm privileged to a lot of information based because I'm on the PAC. Also, I live in Ponte Vedra. I have a great relationship with Jay Monahan, Andy Paz, and a lot of the people at the PGA Tour. So I'm fortunate enough that by asking the right questions and being intuitive, I try to get poke and get a little bit more out of them. How does that help the PGA Tour? Well, I think what it does is it makes our tour stronger by joining up with what's been, in my opinion, this is my opinion, by joining a tour that's been a rival of ours over the years. Now we've come together to hopefully try and defend and protect and grow what both tours have created over 60 plus years against a threat from someone who's coming in and trying to honestly just throw money at the game of golf, hoping that they can, get something out of it, whatever they want to get out of it. But I'm probably not the perfect PGA Tour player to ask in that sense because I'm very fortunate enough that I have membership on both tours. I'm very fortunate enough that, I have great sponsors and so I'm taken care of very well. But how does that help every PGA Tour player? I'm not knowledgeable enough to give you an educated answer. I can ramble on for 20 minutes that still makes no sense.
All right, let's take a couple more. Craig?
Hi, Billy. A lot of the players have spoken about legacy and things like that in terms of winning tournaments, but maybe 10, 15 years down the line, you boys that have stood strong just now and shown the guts and the strength to defend your tours, maybe look back with as much fondness by people as people who've won events. How proud will that make you to be the guys who stood up when golf needed you to stand up?
Yeah, I think if people knows if you know who I am, I'm a very loyal person. I'm a very honest person, and if I care for you, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, to help you out. And I care for the PGA Tour. I love the PGA Tour. The DP World Tour has been another tour that I've come to care for and love and get to know these guys and get to know the people who run this tour. And so they're great people. And so to see both tours being attacked and being challenged, which I think competitive, competition is really great, but going about it in a way that I don't think is very correct in the way it should be done. If I happen to play a small part in both these tours' success and seeing guys win and then, they become, great generational golfers of their generation or great golfers of history, I mean, that'd be pretty special. I mean, I'm very fortunate enough that over some of the comments I've said over the last 6 months, to have the likes of Fred Couples and Tom Kite and some of these other unbelievable legends of the game of golf, PGA Tour players that have made the PGA Tour what it is today, reach out and thank me for that. I'll be doing the same thing, for the next generation of golfers, for how they, I think the world of Will Zalatoris and what he's doing, and Sam Burns and Cameron Young, I think those guys are the next stars of this tour, and so, I'm just trying to make sure that they have a place where they can compete at the highest level and be remembered for what they did on the golf course, but not for what they put in their bank account.
All right, let's go to Phil.
Billy, if you happen to be drawn with one of the LIV players this week, does that make for an entirely silent 5.5 hour round, or are you happy to get your point of view across?
as I said, I have no ill will towards these guys. I don't. I mean, Ian Poulter's been a good friend of mine for many years. I've known Justin Harding since college days. Adrian Ortega, I played with him a couple times. I have no problem playing with these guys. You know, Poulter is very English and very blunt and very straightforward. I mean, I've got 2 guys that are English on my team, and I'm very blunt and straightforward my own self. So it'll still be it. And I don't, like I said, I haven't taken a shot at anyone personally. I'm not taking shots at them personally. I'm just taking shots at some of the comments that they say that I just think are a little, excuse me again, asinine a little bit. And Poulter hasn't said anything. Poulter hasn't said anything, a comment that I've disagreed with. You know, Justin Harding or Adrian Ortega haven't said anything I've disagreed with what they've said or had an issue with what they've said. So, you know, for me, like I said, majority of these guys I have great relationships with, and that's still going to be the same. Now, our talking points may be a little bit different. You know, may not be a lot to talk about. You know, I don't really care what they're doing on the LIV Tour. I don't really care what that tour is all about. You know, but if it's Poulter, I'm sure we're going to be talking about Arsenal versus West Ham.
All right. Well, Billy, we appreciate your time. Best of luck this week.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.